Hello, everyone. This is BizChicks TV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today we are here with Robin Shimizu and friends talking about happy, healthy habits. Oh, we're so glad to have Robin in the house. How you doing, Robin? Oh,
I'm I'm doing just fine, Terry. Thank you.
great, great. Here all the way from Sacramento, California. We are so happy to be here today and to be able to enjoy the sunshine and all the wonderful things that are going on and the fog, whatever you got going on. We just want to say welcome to the program. We want to welcome those watching by the replay as well as those watching live. So we're going to get this party started. What do you have for us today, Robin?
Well, it's December 2nd. Can you
Mm,
believe it?
yes, I can.
Every month I say, "Oh my gosh, it's another month."
You know what? I am so happy to see the end of 2021. I'm good with that.
And so I'm starting to um, get prepared for the healthy habits that we're going to adopt in
Yes.
2022.
Okay.
And so I've been looking at these websites that talk about, the best daily habits and things like that. And I found a nice one this morning that talked about one of the daily habits that we can do to really help ourselves is to do the meal prep for your day the day before.
Oh no, not meal prep. Go ahead. I
I know,
oh my
right?
gosh. I'm gonna have to hire somebody for that. I
You know what? That's not a bad idea, but at least you've thought about it. You
yes.
thought about what it is that you want. And so with so anyway, they start the number one habit is to kind of think about what you're going to eat the day before. So you start your meal prep
Mm-hmm.
and then you start with a healthy breakfast. Excuse me. You
Hmm.
start with a healthy breakfast and then you schedule your workouts. I mean, it's sort of a normal kind of
Slow.
article that, we talk about a lot. Um, and they also talk about during the day you stop and you stretch and you move, so
Mhm.
the movement and that self-care is really really important part of your day, and that we shouldn't forget about it because that's what we
Morning,
do.
Cecilia. Mhm.
We do, we put ourselves last, right?
Yes.
So stop and really take time for yourself. But the sixth one, and I'm not going to go through them all because they're all
Hmm.
things that we've already heard about. But the sixth one I really liked because it was winding down before you go to bed. And you know how important sleep is, right?
Yes.
Today we have Luana Parker with us, and she's our journaling coach. And this one says, wind down before you go to bed by journaling.
Hmm.
And so, you just stop and quiet and turn off your computer and do whatever, but just um, take time to journal at the end to wind down and get ready for bed. So, with that, I wanted to just introduce our guest because Lawana Parker is our friend from BizChicks for many, many years. That's how I met her, and she is an entrepreneur of in a lot of ways. She sells Mary Kay, so she's in direct sales. She also sells the air purifier with us, but her passion really is in journaling and helping people put down on paper and to get healthier and
Mm.
mentally clearer and just feel better about things by writing it down. So with that, let's bring on Lawana and she can introduce herself and then tell us a little bit about how she got into this and then what her tips are for us today.
Wow.
Hi, Lawana.
Well,
You have a
hello.
story for us, and I would like you to tell us your story about how you got into journaling.
Oh my goodness. Well, it started with well, I to be perfectly truthful, it started years ago when I would be feeling bad about anything. I would write it down.
Mm.
But not long ago, I
Mm.
really hit a spot,
Mhm.
and I didn't think about writing it down. I was in a bad place, didn't know how to talk about it because, hey, I am superwoman.
Mm-hmm.
I am not supposed to have bad times and certainly not go to somebody and say, trouble, I got troubles, I need help because everybody came to me. A friend noticed that something was wrong and she made the comment, well, I know something's going on and you don't have to tell me if you don't want to, but if you need to release it, why don't you just write that stuff down? And that's what I did. Now, two things came from that. One, when I wrote it down, naturally I had to start thinking about, well, how am I going to get out of this situation? And it was stuff that was in my head. But after a few days, I started thinking of some things I could do that turned into steps. What happened was that became a book that's on Amazon.com called Courage to Live My Dream. And it led me to go and look at my son's journal. It was actually a book I had given him in kindergarten, and he kept that thing up. I did not know it. When he passed away, the military sent all his personal effects, and it was in there. Well, I had looked at it once, but I just kind of skipped it and put it aside because it was still too painful. And then I again forgot about it. But after I did that, I looked at it, and you know what I realized? He had kept up a journal without realizing it. Every year he went to school, he put a little something in there, a picture, a report card, a comment, And what it allowed me to do was to go back and relive those days, those moments with him, to see him grow up all over again through those pictures and things, and brought back so many memories. And I said it caused me to go and look at his journal, but what really happened was I think it was God talking to me because he put the thought in my head, journal, journal, and that's what really led me to go back and look at his book. And I knew then between the two of them, I recognized that this was extremely important, and I needed to be sharing it with other people. And it can make such a difference in your life. It really can.
Wow.
Um, I have a question, Luana. Had you any idea that your son was journaling or, keeping record of his years like that?
No, I didn't. I gave the book to him when we was in kindergarten, and then I started having children. So no, I didn't. I didn't even think about that book anymore. I didn't give the other kids one because it wasn't on my mind. I was too busy working, taking care of home, and all those things. So it didn't cross my mind. And I'm just so grateful that he kept. Obviously, it meant something to him, and he held on to it, and he filled it up year after year, putting something in there. And right now, there are three things that I highly, there are three things that I really encourage people to do when it comes to journaling. There are probably as many benefits and reasons for journaling as there are people on planet Earth. But the three that I've chosen is one, it helps to relieve any kind of stress or anxiety that you're going through. And when you have things on your mind that you hold into, that can lead to some health issues. The second one is what my son did. Without realizing, he created a legacy for me, something that I can go back and see what he was thinking on, thoughts that he might have had at that time. Um, Being a boy, of course, not like us girls, we put our whole hearts in there. He just put a sentence or two or something, and not every year did he do that, but enough that it helps me to relive
Mhm.
with him. And then the third one is because each one of us has a story to tell. Each one of us has experienced something that someone else needs help with. So my third thing is you can turn that journal into a book. You can
Mm.
share your experiences. You're not obligated to, but you can share your experiences because there's somebody out there that needs to hear what you have to say. There
Wow.
have been too many times when I've read something and thought, "Oh, gee, that's what I was going through," and see what how they handled it to give me some ideas. Not necessarily that I have to do exactly what they say or did, but it'll help give you ideas that maybe you hadn't thought of before. So those are my three main reasons that I feel you should be out there journaling.
Wow. I just never thought about, the fact that it could be turned into a book. I
Mhm,
think because we live such common lives, or we think are common lives, that
Mm-hmm.
we don't think people would be interested in it. When in fact, I find people ask me a lot of questions about my life. Um, and I just never thought about it. Um, Cecilia says, tears right now. I know I would be crying if I read my daughter's journal, so intimate and close to the heart. Wow.
mm.
Whew.
Yes, it's. I wish I had documented my life coming up, to be perfectly truthful, uh, because there are things that I've forgotten every now and then. So, oh, I remember we did that, or I remember thinking or feeling that. Yeah, it would have been nice to have some of those things documented. And I say
Mhm.
it for my family. My parents are gone, but there are so many unanswered questions that I'm never going to know the answer to because they're not here to give me the answers any longer. And unfortunately, when you're young, you ask childish questions, but you don't
Mhm.
ask serious questions. And then when you get to be a teenager, it's the boys you're interested in, not what mom and dad did back in the day.
Yep. And what do they know? They've never been in love.
Exactly.
They've never been young, right?
Right. And so, had I done that, some of the things that I did, I could have had documented. So when I'm gone, long gone, and somebody reads that, they can say, "Oh, wow, Mama always seemed like she was so cool. She had to go through that," you know. So, yeah, if for no other reasons, leave something for your family. You don't have to leave all your personal details, but leave something so the family know what difference you made on planet Earth because every one of us makes a difference. And each one of us is here to serve someone. And I just, I never really realized it until I started having people saying, I watch how you do such and such a thing, and then I try to
Exactly.
do that. That's why I used to tell people all the time, be careful what you do and say when you're out in public, because you never know who's watching you. You never know.
That's true. I mean, we had a young lady tell us the other day, I was watching you and how you were doing signals on the floor for the broadcast and different things. They were talking to Francine
Mhm,
about, how smooth the broadcast was, and how she wanted to be able to emulate that, you know,
mhm,
so that she could in fact begin to do broadcasts. And so you don't know who's watching. It was like, what?
mhm, mhm.
Because we just do what we do, as a result of life experience. And you know what I'm saying to you, Luana?
Exactly. Well, I'll give you another example. Um, there's a place I used to work at, and there was a girl. We got to be friends, but she used colorful metaphors quite a bit, and sometimes people would frown at her about the way that she would express herself. And there was one person who really would get on her case. And one day we were at lunch and she was sharing with me how she felt about that.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, maybe you should tone it down. And she said, well, if you'll notice, I have toned it down quite a bit, but not because of them.
Okay.
She said, because I watch you and I see how you are and how everybody responds to you. And she says that, and I kind of like that, and I wouldn't mind if people would be that way with me. So in her case, it just never crossed my mind that she would look at me as someone that she would be interested in emulating, because she was just so vocal and she had all this knowledge and experience, and so it didn't cross my mind. But it was a for me, it was a high compliment. But on top of that, she said, so and so is always trying to talk to me about religion and how you should do this and how you should do that. She said, but I learned more from you just by watching how you act and how you treat people.
How you walk.
Hmm.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So that's why I say be careful, because you don't know who's watching you. And the very person that you think uh, needs to change their action or attitude might actually be watching what you do, and it could make a difference in their life.
Mhm.
Wow.
Mhm.
Well, Luana, I know that you are an award-winning blogger. Can you tell us a little bit about that? How journaling and blogging sort of go together?
Wow, that's interesting. You should ask me that question, because I'm actually going to be speaking at the Simple Easy Marketing uh, event this Saturday, and that's the title of my talk. Is it blogging or is it journaling?
Oh,
It
okay.
really, in my case, or anyone's case, it can go hand in hand.
Mm-hmm.
I started blogging because it was writing,
Mm.
and I always wanted to write and share my words with people. And unfortunately, I was one of those people who thought, "What do I have to write about?" Well, I met Tim Gillette, and he was teaching blogging. So I took a class from him,
Mm-hmm.
and he gave me a list, and he said, "Every day I want you to write about what's on for that day." That's how I got started blogging, and I found that I liked it, but I didn't have the discipline at first to be consistent in it.
Uh-huh.
That came later as I became more comfortable, and I credit that to COVID,
Mm.
because I needed something to do, and I decided, you know what? I'm going to follow Tim's instruction. I am going to. I found me a 30-day thing, and I wrote every day what was on that list. At the end, I found I wanted to continue. So
Mm.
I have continued to write every single day. I am currently up to blog number
Oh,
467.
wow.
Wow.
Well done.
467 days in a row of writing something. And there have been 2 or 3 times when I've hit to miss a day, but I always, when I do miss a day, the next day I'll put 2 up to make to make up for that day that I
Uh-huh.
missed.
Wow.
So, yeah, I really do like writing. There's
Mhm.
something that's calming and freeing about it. Um, and I don't just talk about journaling. I don't just talk about myself. Was the hardest part for me, to share things about myself. But I find articles that I've read, and then I just write that information
Yeah,
onto my
or
blog.
expound on something else. Mm-hmm.
Right, uh-huh. And I told people, I said, I'm gonna I'm starting this blog. I'm gonna write every single day. If there's a day I run out of time, I'll put a quote or a quick tip, but I'll have something up there every single
Something
day.
will
And if
be
I
up.
miss, I'll give you two the next day. So I've been consistent in doing that, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
enjoying it. And lo and behold, I've got over 300 followers now. So that's a good feeling.
Well, now let me see if I have this site. Um, hold on a moment. See if I can find this uh, and share. Is that you right
And that,
there?
oh yes, well, we got to change that picture.
Is
In
that where
fact,
we go to find your blog?
that's my blog. That's
Okay, so when we get here, we know we're in the right place.
exactly.
Okay, so
Hmm.
let me put that link in the chat. So for those folks who want to go over and find Dr. Parker's blog. There
Yes.
it is.
So that's where blogging is like journaling because you're really
Mhm.
putting yourself out there. Every time I post something, I'm giving someone the opportunity to say, "Oh, what an awful writer. Who's interested in this information?" People can be very
What?
critical about things sometimes, and so you're sharing you as an individual.
Mhm.
And sometimes I share stuff that's maybe little bit personal. I don't get deep down because I don't want to bring anybody down. But even sharing any type of personal information is hard for me.
Mhm.
I've always kept everything to myself, and I encourage other people to talk to me when they have a problem, but I didn't do the same thing. So
Well,
being on the blog has allowed me to share some things with people that otherwise I probably would not have.
pretty intimate, huh? I've
Mm.
read some pretty intimate things on
Mhm.
there. um, from really from the heart. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
About I was like, Lawana, really? You felt that way?
Mhm.
But Janice says, "Good morning."
Good
I
morning.
She says, "I do enjoy writing too. I have lots of experience to share over 35 years of social work. Oh, my mother was a psychiatric social
Mhm.
worker. I have made a difference, but it's ongoing. Thanks, Lawana. Thank you,
You're welcome,
Janice."
Janine. Nice to see you out there. Yes, and maybe you should start a blog, Janice, and share some of that information. You don't have to go into personal details, but maybe you
Mhm.
could share it as a case study. You know, an individual that does this or had this situation and how it was handled, because there might be somebody who needs to hear that from you. Um, but yes,
And the
I
social
love it.
workers might want to know, huh,
Mhm.
Luana,
Exactly. Mhm.
how they handle different things from a
Hey
clinical.
Terry, can you put Luana's blog link back up? I was trying to take a picture and I was
Oh,
just looking.
okay, I sure can. Let's
If you
see.
go to that my360sites.net, it has all of my links in there to
Okay,
everything.
so there it is. It is literally lawanasblog.com.
Mhm. Mhm.
I should be able to remember that.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I couldn't think of a name, so I figured
I,
why
I
not use mine?
I
exactly.
really like it. I think it's really great. Luana's blog.
Well,
Mhm.
I'm not only going to share that, I'm going to share this. Guys, if you're looking for Lawana's book, here's the cover, and it is called Courage to Live Your Dreams. So let's see if we can get that.
Um, Actually, this is my dream. It's
Oh,
courage to
yes,
live my dream because I was
my dream.
here. This is one of those times when I share some things that I was feeling and thinking.
Hmm.
There's
Hmm.
a part in there where I talk about how I was feeling jealous of my husband because it seemed like everything was going right for him, but not for me. And I had planned so well that this is what was going to happen at these different times in my life, especially
Hmm.
now that I'm a mature senior woman.
Right.
I, I had figured out how things were going to go, and it didn't work that way. I was
Hmm.
Everything collapsed, and I was really upset because I had worked hard.
Hmm.
Most of my marriage, I made more money than my husband, but suddenly he was the man with the money, and I was the woman who had to go and say, "Could I have a dollar or two here?" I didn't like doing that. I
Hmm.
always took care of me, and I didn't like having to go and ask for money. Lucky I had a husband who didn't say, "Nope, I'm not giving it to you."
Well, Lawana, we also put the link to the Amazon so that everybody can buy that book, give it to a friend for Christmas, do whatever you need to improve your library and those of those around you. The courage to live my dream.
Mhm. It's
Hey,
a
that's
quick read. It's a
mhm.
quick read, and I made sure the printing was large enough so those of us in
I,
advancing years who may have a little problem with eyesight can still read it.
mhm.
But yes, I would encourage you to buy a copy, if not for yourself, then someone else that you may know who's having some problems. Um, I don't have all the answers,
Mhm.
but I came up with some steps that worked for me. This might help you come up with some steps that will help you in your situation.
Well, I read the book and it's really a page turner. And also I just found it helpful because I'm not a blogger, but
Mm.
but just the read the book. It's it's a good page turner. You'll
Thank
love
you.
it. I enjoyed it. Thank you so much for making that print. Just a little darker. Just a little, yes, yeah. Because sometimes when you get books off of Amazon, it can be a challenge. So
Mm-hmm.
I thank you for that. I appreciate that. So, Luana, do you have any courses or any events coming up you want to share with us?
Right now, I'm just doing classes on Monday that people have been attending. It's a lot of fun. We actually it's a journal class to help people get started with journaling, but sometimes we just talk,
Mm.
and we just share information with one another, and it's amazing how we discover that another person is experiencing the same thing or similar, and so we can kind of help one another in that arena. It's, it is fun. I encourage you to go and, uh, I should let me clarify that. Isn't that terrible when you get tongue tied? You should sign up and come and attend the class because right now those classes are free. But
Mm.
2022 is coming, and who knows what she may say.
So, if they're trying to get into the class, how do they contact you?
They can email me. You can email me at Lawana at lawanaspeaks.com. And I just
Mhm.
realized I didn't put that in the
That's okay.
thing. Yeah, just email me and let me know that you're interested, and I will be happy to send you a link. I would have put the register, but I'm changing that. So
Mhm.
email me, and that way you get the correct one.
Okay. Or can
Uh,
they contact you on your Facebook
they
page?
can contact me on Facebook. They can call me. Uh, in fact, go over and follow me on Facebook. I'd love for you to join me there because I do put some tips over there, quotes, and sometimes I actually get on there
I
and I
hear you.
talk.
And what?
Okay. I said, and I talk.
Oh.
Facebook was probably one of my last challenges that was out of my comfort zone.
Mhm.
And so I was having some difficulty with it. But I finally, finally figured out how I can talk on Facebook through Zoom without having an echo.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
So I'm going to put this page up. You tell me if this is the correct Facebook page. Is that the correct one?
That's my profile page. Is Go to Motivational Journaling.
Okay.
Mhm.
Let me find that. Let me stop sharing, and I'll work on that while you guys talk.
Mhm. Well, let me just tell you really quick here. I mentioned that there are so many benefits and reasons for journaling. Um, you can have a motivational journal. You can have a project journal. You can even have a money journal. That one I stole from somebody who said they had a money journal. And I go, money journal? And then she explained, she said, yes, I write down everything that I spend so I can know uh, where my money is gone for the month. And I thought, oh, maybe I should do that. So if you're having difficulties with finances, a money journal might be the way to go because if you document everything you're spending, the end of the month, you'll know, am I wasting money?
Mm.
Am I spending it in the right direction? I know for myself, I tend to get a little carried away. Hey, it's a couple of dollars here. Let me go buy this.
Uh-huh.
Hmm. And then you can have a prayer journal. Gratitude journal is really great because there's nothing better than being grateful for what you have, to recognize the simple things in
Mm-hmm.
life. One of the things that I do every day when I do my prayer is to thank God for the things that He's done for me that I've overlooked because
Mm-hmm.
I'm so busy looking at the big picture. You know, just waking up in the morning is a great thing. Um, having, like, for example, my grandson decided to bring me a pie for Thanksgiving because that was kind of his apology for not going to be there with me.
Mm-hmm.
But still, he didn't have to do that because I already knew he wasn't going to be there. He was going to be with his girlfriend. And I had no problems with that. But he thought he should bring me something as a kind of, uh,
Peace offering.
yeah. And I looked at it as a blessing from him because I don't
Mhm.
expect things like that from boys. I
Mm-hmm.
knew that. I knew that after I got the boys. I asked God for boys, and He sent me four of them. And then it dawned on me, boys, when they get married, they follow the woman, you know.
Correct.
So over the years, I programmed myself to accept that
Mm-hmm.
I will not see my sons as often as the in-laws will see them, you know.
Oh,
But when they do things like that, it always makes me feel a little special, for them to remember mom is still around.
what a blessing.
Mhm. Yes, it is. I am truly grateful for my sons. Truly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, now, Robin.
Well, I wanted to ask Lawana a question about what's
Mhm.
going on this weekend. So you're going to be speaking at, is it the Craig? What conference are you speaking at?
This will be at Tim Gillette's event. Once a month he has a speakers summit, I guess you could call it.
Mm.
His program is Simple Easy Marketing, and I'm going to be one of the speakers this weekend. And
So is that something we can attend? Do you want
yes,
us to
yes,
attend
you
those? Or?
can. I will get the link and post it on my journaling page and send it out to people. And yes, love to have you come to it.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun. I always enjoy going on Tim's program, and
And
he
it's
always
this
comes up with
Saturday.
crazy questions this Saturday.
This Saturday.
Be
Okay.
sure to let us know because I will tune in. I have a good weekend. This is a good weekend for me, and
Hmm.
I'd love to support you. So that would
Well,
be
thank
great.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you, because it will be, if I'm not mistaken, it will be broadcast on both Facebook, and I
Mm.
think he said YouTube also. Not sure
Mm.
about that.
Probably you too.
Hmm.
Yes. Okay. Well,
Very
we
good.
would love for you to share that information with us so we can put it in the chat. Go ahead. Go ahead, Robin. What were you going to say?
Oh, I was just going to thank Lawana for coming on and sharing with us because I do think this journaling is a really a great habit for people to get into, and I think that I'm gonna start a journal. Now that
Cool.
I've changed my living situation, and I want to start journaling. How it's going for me, and so I'm really excited, and I'm attending Lawana's Monday classes, and they are fun.
Well, you know
And you,
what? You never know when you're going to get some granddaughters or daughter-in-laws to want to share things about grandma that they have no knowledge of. And because you have
hmm
a son, he may not know a lot either.
no, boys definitely don't think that about asking questions like that. I just get angry with myself because always been a curious person about things, but I
Mm,
didn't investigate enough. My grandparents. I would have loved to know more about um, my grandfather who was teased by his half brothers and sisters because he was illegitimate,
mm,
and they knew about one another, and they used to tease him that when their dad died, he wasn't going to get anything because in Louisiana, unless unless the man specifically leaves something for that illegitimate child, he doesn't get anything out of.
Really?
Oh yes. And so my grandfather uh, went to Louisiana, and he started working doing little things. He even did some sharecropping and stuff, and he saved
Mhm.
all his money till he could buy him some land. And he built on that land. So he ended up with about 300 and I'm saying about, he had 320 acres of land,
Wow.
all paid
That is
for.
that
He
is
was,
significant.
yes,
Oh
it's
my
significant
goodness.
for the time period, and
Yes.
he was totally self-sufficient. The
Wow.
only
That
thing
is
he had to
beautiful.
get was material for clothes, but otherwise he grew everything that he needed. And
That
so
is amazing.
I would have loved to have known more about him. I know
Mhm.
nothing about my grandmother at all, so yeah. But uh, yeah, that really that disturbs me that I don't know more of his history. I've shared that on my podcast about my grandfather during Black History Month.
Uh-huh.
As I told him, I said I always talk about other people, but today I'm
Mhm.
going to share about my own family, my grandfather, because I felt he had done something that was pretty remarkable for that
Yeah,
era.
it is.
Mhm.
It's wow. And you know
Mhm.
what? You can probably find a lot on the rolls and things about him because
I never thought about tax roll. I'm not sure I know
Mhm.
how to go about doing that. I
Yes,
did
you
find
go.
a couple of
Yeah.
places he worked as on ancestry.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. So with that, I want you to know that Cecilia says this. I really enjoyed today. Thank you. I will look you up. Also, this Saturday and Monday sounds really interesting and beneficial to me. So we need to make sure that we get this in the chat so that Cecilia can um, attend or listen in on Saturday and to the conference that you're going to be speaking at.
All right, I will get that information over to you, and be happy. We'll love to have people come in here. I believe I speak at 10:20. They don't change the time on me.
Is that
Pacific
AM?
time.
Is that AM or PM?
Yes, AM,
Okay.
10:20 AM Pacific time.
All
So,
right. Well, I will be in the air, I do believe. Um,
oh,
yeah,
ah,
on my way
what a
to
shame. Just a quick note to people
Yes,
who
ma'am.
may still have some doubts about journaling and how it can help relieve stress and tension. Just remember
Mhm.
this: sometimes we have things that even people who like to talk don't want to share with individuals.
Mhm.
You can put it in a journal, get it out of your head. And then if you think somebody might find it, you can always tear it up and dump it in the garbage or burn it or whatever. And the biggest benefit, that journal is not going to talk back and call you all kinds of names because of what you did.
Sounds like a plan. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I think a lot of us have started writing down what we're grateful for recently in light of Thanksgiving coming.
Mhm.
During the month of November, we sort of emphasize being grateful. And
But when you write those things down,
yeah, see.
especially good things that happen to you, when you're in moments of where you're feeling depressed about something, you can go pull that out and say, oh, on this day, such and such a person said this to me, and I had the best feeling in the world. And it'll bring back all that experience again that
Hmm.
will help lift you up. Um, it's it's those little things that make a difference. And somebody else might say you're being self-serving, but I say it's nope, you're taking care of yourself. And you're reminding yourself you are valuable and you are worthwhile, and we need to hear from you.
This is what we mean when we say go to the front of your own line. If
Mhm,
you are not taking care of yourself, how can you take care of others? And if
mhm,
something happens to you because you neglected yourself, you won't be able to help those people at all because you'll be missing.
mhm.
So I just want to say we just are so excited about the opportunity to learn how to blog, how to journal, and the benefits of it, Luana. I don't know if I could ever share such intimate things, but we can work on it.
But you don't have to be intimate. I haven't been intimate yet, but
Okay.
I have shared some personal
Some
thoughts and
personal
feelings.
things, some
Mhm,
really personal and intimate things. When I mean intimate, I don't mean, intimate. I mean, just so close to the heart.
mhm,
Oh my gosh, you guys just have to go read her blog. It's just
mhm.
really a journey. So with that, also I want you to make sure that you get the book. So I'm going to put the book up one more time, Luana. They can find it over there on Amazon. Courage to Live My Dream by Luana Parker. So remember that this holiday season, you'll be able to do that. Also, this is Lawana's journal. Let me see here. This is her blogging page. I can share that too so people know when they're in the right place.
For now, I'm talking to someone about
Well,
changing it.
that's okay. Will you put the link over here for them where they can find it, make a difference with a bit of gratitude? hmm They can subscribe to your newsletter. I like this little logo right here of the girl reading the book.
Oh yeah, I found that years ago, and I've held
Mhm.
on to her.
I
She's,
like her.
she's kind of become my personal little logo because I love reading and I love writing. And those some people already know I have thousands of books. This laptop probably has about 8 or 9 thousand books on it.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, yes, PDF books.
Uh-huh.
Not
You
talking
really
about the
do read.
Amazon books, but PDF books that I bought
Mhm.
over the years. And
Wow.
uh, I can look at the counter and it tells me how many books are in that folder.
Yes,
But
yes.
over at Amazon, I've got another 1,600 plus
Oh
books.
my
So
Lord.
I really love reading. And for those of you who are thinking about writing romance, I'm going to encourage you because if you're good, you'll have a follower for life.
Did you hear that, guys? Okay. Also, I want to mention one more thing, and then we're gonna let you guys go because we want to be respectful of your time. Is what we want to do. I want you to know that Dr. Parker does do workshops or book compilations. If you're thinking about writing a book or you want to get your book on Amazon, you need to contact Dr. Parker. If you've got a book in you, she can help you get it out. Okay. So
Thank
with that,
you.
we want to remind everybody to go to the front of your own line. Have a great day. Tomorrow we'll be here talking tech with the Tech Divas. Right? Yeah, it's right. Because tomorrow, yes, with the Tech Divas. So be sure to tune in. Also, we want to remind you that if you haven't already done so, to join the Biz Chicks community, you can text Biz to 33777 and come on in and be a part. Let us know who you are, introduce yourself, and share over there. We'd love to have you. In addition to that, we want to remind you go to the front of your own line. We're all waiting for you there. Have a great day. Bye
Thank you.
bye. Thank you again, Dr.
Mhm,
Parker.
mhm. You're welcome.